Hey guys, James from LowViz. Just a real quick rundown of our recent trip to the US. We were in New Mexico for 3 days with Colorado Precision Rifle, doing a 3-day Steel Safari prep course down there, which is built around the fine range and engage principles similar to NRL Hunter with some variations. That was a great 3 days. The first day of fundamentals, zero, check data, dope, out to distance, fundamental firing positions from barricades, tripods, standing, kneeling, squatting, sitting, all that kind of stuff. Second and third day were positional field shooting. So, getting into position quickly, efficiently, setting down packs, setting up optics, setting up rifles, transitioning quickly from finding a target, doping it to engaging it, wind calls, wind corrections, tips and tricks. And then the third day was wrapping that all up together. That was a really good run-in for us before we hit the NRL competitions, because it gave us a chance to be in a unique environment that we hadn't been before. Set up in stages the way we're expecting to kind of hit the NRL matches, with our tripods, setting our optics up, finding targets, doping them out, transitioning from finding targets to engaging them with the rifle. So, moving positions, varying heights, natural obstacles, shooting through and behind and in front of, trees and rocks and bushes and bits and pieces like that. And then, making corrections on the fly. The difference between Steel Safari and NRL Hunter, I guess the main, layman's most easy way to explain it for me is that in Steel Safari, it's one shot, hit or miss, regardless. With NRL Hunter, you get 2 shots per target, 2 points for a first round hit, 1 point for a second round hit, no points for a miss. So that's the major, I think, variance between the two. So we did that course for 3 days. Then we drove up to Colorado, to Pueblo. We shot a match up there in the snow. That was fantastic. We shot in the snow last year. It brings about a total different style of shooting. We only shot prone from, I think, 3 stages out of 14, so it was a real tripod heavy match. A lot of the positional stuff was taken out just because of the snow cover. It was 12 to 20 something inches for the most part, which took away from some of the stuff that they had set up, but it was still a really great experience. Shooting in the snow is hard, not the cold. You don't notice that too much if you've got good clothes on. It's more that when you set your tripod up and you're shooting under recoil, it all sinks down. It's hard to get a gauge on mirage, I find, because there's not the same indicators that you'd have on a dusty field with wispy grass. So measuring wind can be a bit sketchy, and also missing a target, it has a tendency to just go thop into the snow, and you might not get a real good amount of feedback like you would with dry dirt. So we shot that match there. I shot in skills division with my ATX. I didn't make weight, didn't make the 16-pound cutoff, which I wasn't trying to, because I'm a traveller. I'm not there for the competition series and points, and I'm not going to be that competitive anyway at this point. So I just ran kind of what I know, the attacker, 6.5 Creedmoor, 24-inch 1-in-8 twist carbon barrel with factory 140 grain Hornady match ammo. TNB muzzle brake, Skypod single pull. I had a triple pull that I didn't use at all. The Vortex Impact 4000 laser rangefinder was on there. That was a really good addition to the rifle, I think. If you've set up and you found targets with the binos with a laser with an applied ballistics profile inside it, 680 meters might be 5 something mil. I was using that, riding from that down to my armboard, but then moving from the binos to the rifle, you might have to move 5 or 10 metres somewhere else, and the perspective of the world's changed. You were looking that way, now you're coming in from a different angle, the bushes have shifted, and it is hard sometimes to get back on a target. At least with this, if you're looking through the scope, you might see a target. You might not be 100% if it's the right target, because it might be 4 of the same thing. You can quickly zap it with the laser, it'll give you the dope, and you get 100% that's the right one, or that's the next target, and that just gives you another layer of redundancy for capturing data and moving quickly. So I didn't use it a lot, but when I did, it was really, really beneficial to have that. That's a really good piece of kit. The Attacker 7-35, if I wanted to get under 16 pounds, I'd have to change that probably for an NX8, get rid of the spur mount, put 2-piece rings on, lightweight ones, take off the impact, maybe take the tuner collar off the TNB muzzle brake, take the bag rider off. I'd have to butcher the thing. not really that interested in doing that. I'd rather shoot skills anyway, just because I can kind of take what I'm used to. I can kind of take what I hunt with, and to me that's more important than trying to be, getting prizes off the table, because flying with stuff is challenging anyway. So so that's the rifle I took. The 33 tripod, the Really Right Stuff 33, 3 leg sections. That was really good because it's quicker than a 4 section tripod, but it's not as quick as a 2. It's easier to travel with a 3 than a 2 because of the height. Getting it in a case or a bag is problematic. But in hindsight, and now having shot 3 matches and the course, I'm starting to really see the benefits of a 2 leg section tripod. The priority is to find targets straight away, not mincing around with the tripod. Having an extra, even just 1 extra leg per leg, having 3 extra sections to extend, that burns 10, 15, 20 seconds. That's 20 seconds less that you have on the binos, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's significant. That might be 1, maybe 2 more targets, which, over the course of a match will significantly change the outcome. So, yeah, we shot the Colorado match. Came first in skills, which nothing to brag about. It's not a big deal, but it was cool. I didn't zero anything. That's all I wanted. I'm happy with the result, but still 30 something out of 140, I think, ish people. I'll take it. Yeah, but there's still a long way to go. A lot of things you could definitely do better. A lot of it was my fault, of course. From there, we drove up to Denver. We flew across to Kansas, to Missouri, and we shot the Vortex match in Clarence, Missouri, that was awesome. Going from the moon, from Mars, to the snow, to farmland was pretty wild, and something we were much more familiar with, much more natural, much more comfortable there with dirt and grass and trees instead of rocks and snow and ice. That match there, pretty good turnout again as well. That was a real different style of match. The targets, due to the terrain, they were a lot closer in sometimes. Some of them were like 56, I think 70 something meters was the closest target, which you could throw a rock at or shoot with a handgun really. But some of the far ones were 600, 700, 800 yards ish out there across a paddock, sown paddock with dirt and wood behind it. So you'd shoot and miss and you wouldn't get much feedback at all. So there was still a lot of really challenging shots in there. One really cool thing was the dude that won it was open light. I don't know what caliber he was shooting, but he dropped 1 point on day 1 and 1 point on day 2. But yeah, that's cool, man. That's unreal. So yeah, we shot that match. I came equal first in skills again for points, but again, it doesn't really mean much. But still, it's good to know the system's kind of working. I think definitely the tripod slowed that sequence down a fair bit. And that would have probably simplified things, just to be more composed. So, in hindsight, NRL Hunter, I much prefer that over any other kind of shooting that we're doing in Australia, which it's a real shame, but it's just the way it is. I like being able to carry everything, set it up on my time, find stuff, range it, measure it, engage it. It's an individual thing. You haven't got anyone to call on for after action review. No one's watching you. They're all blind stages, so you're kind of in doing your thing, and then you do what you do, and then you get out, and then you move to the next stage, and then your mate comes along behind you, and that's it. You don't really spend a lot of time talking about how things went or what you could do better. So you've got to kind of keep an eye on that and learn on the fly and apply, I think, and adjust things as you're going. The equipment I took. Schmedium, I had pallets in my trip one because it's a lot easier to fly with pallets instead of 5 kilos of sand. Everyone needs a barricade bag, and I think the Schmedium is the way to go. Or the Aurora. I took the Aurora last year, and that was a great piece of kit as well. I had the Raider rear bag. Again, I think you need a barricade bag, and I think it's beneficial to have a rear bag, something made for prone shooting, faster, lighter. This was awesome. Did a lot of good shooting off the ground with that. With the bino harness, our mountain bino harness version 2, it's got the magnetic lid, easy in and out. It's got the data on the top there as well. The DA shifted from 6,500 down to about 500 feet from Colorado to Missouri. So all the data from Colorado was 0.345 wrong at distance, which is significant. You've got to keep an eye on that. So just be smart if you're writing out data boards. I had an arm data board here. Left, middle, right, near, middle, far, 4 targets worth of data for dope, and then if there's different types like a ram head and a ground squirrel or a like a deer or a buck or whatever, I could draw little rubbish pictures in there. Left to right, near to far, stage, whatever number, that you have to have a way to record data in a hurry. I didn't use my Kestrel much with the applied ballistics on the SIG binos with the cinch here, but it's good to be able to calibrate yourself. Get a gauge, you go up to 8 miles an hour, and then at least you can kind of get back into it with that. So that much there, Missouri, no dramas, had a good weekend, really, really good dudes. The best thing about the US is travelling with these American guys and other internationals as well. Very accommodating people, really friendly, no issues. People are happy and willing to lend a hand and help out, and it's just an amazing experience and really something worth being a part of. So if people want to get involved with that, we're happy to try and help you out where we can with information and tips and tricks. I might do a couple of videos on how and what is worth taking and what really kind of trying to avoid that might be unnecessary. Having been our second trip, we really tried to smash it down and keep it simple and keep it kind of streamlined. So hopefully this video, it's given you at least a little bit of an insight into what to expect, or maybe a bit of a rundown of how things work. I've got some other videos and snippets and stuff I like the idea of editing into something, but yeah, I'll do what I can to get around to that. Again, thanks for your time, dudes. Have a good afternoon.